All right, on the bench today, out of a 1973 Chevy Corvette, we have the Turbo Hydromatic 400 transmission. So what's going on with this? The transmission actually works okay, but we got a call from one of the wholesale accounts that we deal with, and the owner of the car brought into them, they checked it out. Transmission is leaking. They believe it's leaking from the front, maybe in a few other areas. So the transmission would have to come out to be sealed. And when we do a seal job, we take the front pump out. I rebuild the front pump. All external seals are changed. So then, we would tell him what we do. He goes, well, how much is a rebuild? So we gave him a price on that. And so we got both prices, seal job, overhaul. He called the owner of the car, gave him the option, and he went for the rebuild. So we went and picked the car up. The manager drove it back here. He says, yeah, it works okay, and the fluid's clean, because I guess they kept keeping the transmission full. So, we'll see what we're gonna find. May not find anything, may find some clutches flaking, who knows, but it is here for a rebuild. So I got a banner kit, reverse band, pump bushing, converter I got to look into, but I got my basics and a filter to start with. But I'm just basically going to tear this down and put it aside because I have other things to do, Mercedes and Transits and stuff like that, and this we got a little time on. So this guy's just car that he uses on the weekends. But it's going to be nice. It's going to be fun to do this Turbo Hydromatic 400. It kind of makes me think of back in the days, back in the 80s, when my father was running a shop, and we had a smaller shop with 2 lifts. We have 5 here now, and we were down the street renting in this property we own. But we had 2 lifts, and the shop would open at 8 o'clock, probably by 9 o'clock we'd have 10 cars there. We had our own towing trucks to pick up and deliver, and we had 4 full-time builders. I was one of them, and we had a guy full-time just tearing the transmissions down and cleaning them, because we kept the 400s in stock, the 350s, the 200s, all in stock on the shelf. We try to keep at least 5 of them at a time. We kept the AODs, the FIODs, the Fords, the 470W as we know it today. We would keep those in stock. We would keep C4s, C5s, and C6s in stock. We would keep the 727s and the 904s, both 6 and 8 cylinders. Had converters in stock. And I remember, ordering parts. I buy parts from TranStar. And back then, there was another outfit that TranStar actually took over. They bought them. But back in the day, like say for instance, we're ordering 350 parts, we'd order probably 10 overhaul kits, a case of forward clutches, 30 rear clutches, reverse clutches. It just the stock we had was unbelievable. And the amount of units we used to turn out back in the day was incredible. We even did some buildings, my dad and my uncle were partners and had a few shops, and some of them were satellite shops, and they just did installing. So we had to build for them too. So they would bring us cores, we'd rebuild them, either put them on our shelf or send them back depending on what the case was. But back in the day, that was some nice reminiscing back then when we would be going crazy. 4 full-time builders and even a full-time teardown guy, tow truck driver, a couple of installers, manager, bookkeeper. My dad was in the front. We even had an outside salesman, getting us more accounts, but it was crazy. But those were the good old days. But we're just as busy now. Times of course have changed. Your average price was much lower than it is today, but it's still, I'm the only one rebuilding here, but it's still very, very busy. And I actually try to keep some transmissions in stock, like the 470Ws, the different years, and a couple of 62 TEs, and I'll tell you, it's impossible. As fast as I build them, they're gone. I got a 470W 09 and up on this bench, because I had a free couple of hours, so I says, well, instead of just standing there doing nothing, let me get a unit, tear it down, clean it up. I had a banner kit, because I like to try to keep some of this stuff, because at a minute's notice, if I'm not doing nothing, let me get going on it. So, you know, I gotta wait for some hard parts. I ordered a pump and a few things, but I got the unit half done. And now we got this one. I got a 722.6 here. I got a 6R80 coming out. So I got my work cut out for me. But it'll be fun to tear down a 400. Nice change of pace for once. So again, it's probably not going to find too much wrong with this, but he elected to go for an overhaul versus a seal job. So I'll make it a little closer and we'll start tearing this down. All right, so let's just get the rear seal off, get the extension housing off. This transmission is not drained. I meant to drain it, I forgot. I put it on the bench and I got busy and completely forgot. So the unit is full, so I'm gonna have to dump it. I'll spin it around. It'll drain into the bucket, even on the fluids. Nice and cherry red. Get another smaller. And it looks like I'm missing one here. Missing a flathead. I don't know where that went. Okay, rear seal. Again, nice clean fluid. It was even nice to, an alarm just set on that car. Been sitting in there for an hour. Break out the SAE sockets. .916. There's a bracket under there. Trans-Tech gasket on here. Somebody was in here, I don't know how long ago, it wasn't me though. I don't know if this thing's been overhauled once before or just maybe sealed, I don't know, but I don't really use silicone like this on gaskets, really don't need to. All right, extension housing. Bushing in there looks good. Okay, now I'm going to take these 4 bolts out. That is the governor cover, 1/2 inch. Okay. Out. Make sure this gear looks good, and you got a valve inside there. I don't know if you can look at this window, right here. You can see the valve moving. That's what you want to see. Valve's got to be nice and free. If it's not, you pop the roll pin out of here, pop the gear out, and take the valve out and clean it up. All right, now we got modulator. Let's get that out. O-ring. And gotta get the modulator valve. See if we can get it with a magnet.
And it's kind of only going so far and stopping.
All right, so, I mean, this should slide right out. That's not gonna. Let's try this real quick.
If not, we'll see if we can get out after the trans is apart. Wow, it's really stuck in there. Oh, it's not coming out.
All right. All right, I'm gonna get the pump bolts out. Half inch. All right, I'm gonna turn this thing, get the pan down, and this thing again is first. It won't come out. I should have did it before and totally forgot. Now we got a couple of different bolts in here. So let's get the half inch out first. Longer bolts. Probably the threads are no good. Okay. And I have some clutch material in here. Not sure how long ago this was done, but all right, we get the filter. It's also half inch. See which one I got in here. All right, so I got the screen type filter in here, which is good because I got the same one. Yeah. This is a better filter, you know. This is like, they use this like in the Allisons. Also, they have a material like a Dacron filter. I always go with that one. Okay, there's also an O-ring. So you take this out and there's an O-ring. Old school kickdown solenoid. With that. And so let's get that out. It's probably going to be 716, yes. Thought it would be nice to tear it down with you guys. It's not, I don't get these too often. Okay, there's your quick down solenoid. A little gasket on here as well. And like that. Put this aside with the bolts. Okay. Got a couple of 7/16 here, and the rest are half inch. Gotta find where I put my half inch. Oh, there it is. Okay, we'll take the detent, roll it off, and let's get the rest of the bolts. Again, we'll get the valve body off. All right, a lot of times you're gonna find a screen, a little filter in one of these tubes, or in here, okay? And if that screen gets clogged, you used to lose third gear when it was hot. Okay, so we have the valve body. All right, now we have check balls. This is a 1973, so I'm just gonna mark where these go. You know, if somebody was in here, I don't know if they did any kind of special kit or something. But we got 1, let me just mark them. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, nothing here, nothing here. Okay, check balls are marked. All right, now let's get the cover off for the reverse servo. Have a gasket there. Have a servo, and this actually is an accumulator with the spring. That's what it looks like. Okay, you got a band. Take the piston out for the band. All right, now let's get check balls out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I gotta get my special socket. 12.716, I believe, for the center support bolt. That's it here. Okay, center support bolt. 480E is twice the size of that. Okay, so that's good there. Now, this valve, you know, I got a draining oil from here. Can't really see through, but I don't know why that, what's holding that valve in. That would be the modulator valve. So I can get rid of some of the oil in the channels so I can see. Really seeing anything holding it. It was just, and it's coming now, because it was just kind of stuck. Okay. All right, modulator valve. Okay. Now we're going to get the pump out. I'm going to use my old school pump puller, which is this. So I'm going to put this on, tighten this down. Pull the pump out. Nice to use the old school stuff every once in a while. Okay, so Let's take a look at this O-ring. It's not really that hard, but it was leaking. Usually these things are hard as a rock. Okay. Gonna pull the forward drum. Got a plastic washer there. Okay, gonna pull the direct drum. Okay, I got a sprig. Take a look at those. Here is that coast band. Looks pretty good. All right, now the intermediate clutches. Gotta get the snap ring out. Okay, there's that. Get the clutches out. Teeth are worn. You know, they're not really burnt, but the teeth are pretty worn on these. Okay, now gotta get the heavy snap ring out. Pull the gear train out. Okay, this is tapered, and the taper is gonna face up. Flat side is gonna go down. Okay. Okay, here is center support. There is a bushing in here. Okay, also, we've got a bearing. You know what? I'll go over all that later. Okay, we'll look at the gear train, reverse band. These bands are generally pretty good. And that's it. Case is stripped. Alright, so I'm going to get rid of this oil. I'm going to take a look at the gear train. We'll open up the pump, take a look at the drums, the center support, valve body. It's pretty basic, simple. Turbo Hydromatic 400. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. All right, so let's take a look at these clutch drums. First, we got the forward clutch. There's also the hub for the direct clutch. Now let's get the snap ring out. Okay, we're going to take the hub out. And we have a washer here, and we have a plastic washer here. This one I usually upgrade to brass, but I mean this one's in perfect shape. But you can either leave it or you can put the brass on. For our ladies, I always do that. All right. So this is a wavy steel. The bottom steel is wavy and the clutch goes on top of that. All right, so there are your forward frictions. Forward and direct frictions are the same. So we have an aluminum piston, individual springs, you know, all the old school stuff. And also just check in here, make sure there are no ring grooves. Direct. Okay, these are a little burnt, a little flaky. So it's probably a good call anyway. Even the steels, I don't even like the steels. The steels got a lot of burn marks on them. So I'm going to be replacing these steels, these direct steels I'm going to replace. Yeah, all here. Don't like that. Okay. And we also have a sprig. We can take, we gotta check that. Okay, get the snap ring out. Cover. And there's the sprig. Okay, looks all right. Put that aside. Okay. Put this aside. All right, also, check for ring grooves here. They are good. If you do have ring grooves in here, that usually means your center support bushing is no good. Okay. Let's take a look at the center support. We have a bearing race that goes on there. Okay. Also, there is a plastic washer inside. Let me see if I can get this thing out. There we go. Okay, you have your 4 sealing rings for the direct drum, and of course your bushing in here. And these two we'll put aside. This we can take the snap ring off. Only 3 springs. Okay, and we'll be replacing the seals here. Okay. Train. Now we had took that race off of the center support on the back here. Okay, so these are the other, that's the other open face bearing that rides on that race. We have a sprig, a little sprig here. And we got a bushing in here. Always change. This looks good. All right, we have a plastic washer. All right, so let's take the sun gear out. The plastic washer sits in here, 4 tab. Okay, so there's your sun gear. And then when you put this in, it's kind of like a, I guess like a master spline, if you will. Line it up. And all right, so this, like this. This goes into the case. There's 3 tabs that these will go into in the case. And then you have another 4 tab washer that goes on the output shaft. Okay, now let's get this snap ring out. We used to even stock all these bearings too. Heavy snap ring here. Try this one. Try this side. Almost at it. Very heavy snap ring. It is tapered. Taper is going to face up. Very heavy. Okay, so this will come out. Okay, you got a bushing in here. Make sure that's good. You've got another open face bearing. Spin it, make sure it's good. All comes apart. And I'm going to get the swing gear out. Okay, and again, bearing. That will go like that. One complete set. And you have your planet. All right, just like to check these gears. Make sure there's nothing rocking, which is not. It's good. Okay. And pump. Have your pump washer here. Let's get the rings out. Back in the day, everything was all metal rings. Not anymore. Okay, plastic washer. Pump bolt. First regulator, then the pump. Okay, very nice. Nice and smooth, perfect. The gears are nice. Pocket, very nice. Not even really a lip here on the crescent. So I got a new pump bushing, of course a front seal with the overhaul. So that looks good. Okay. And real quick, valve back. Take the separator plate off. I'll probably have to soak this to get the gaskets out. They're coming out. Okay. So we're going to match the gaskets up to the plate. I have an accumulator here, which I normally never take apart. You know, just you can tell if the spring is broken, it'll be down. You give it a push. And, you know, actually got some fluid coming out there. All right, so that spring is okay, but if the spring was broken, this thing would be flopping around. You have to take it apart, put a spring in it, but most of the time that's okay. Here's your little valve body. All right, so I think that's it. I just want to show you one more thing on this 400 that I forgot before because it was stuck. This black plastic piece was in this planetary here in the front planet. And this is called a silencer. It is black plastic and it does just what the name is, cuts the noise down on the planetaries inside the transmission. So when you're putting this transmission back together, you have this. It will go over the rear planet like that, and then this one will go on just like that. So when I took this apart, it was stuck in there, and I honestly totally forgot about it until I seen it. And I says, oh, I forgot to mention it, so I wanted to mention it now. And again, 1973 Chevy Corvette and THM400 transmission. All right, again, there was not much wrong with it. We did not find much wrong with it. It was a leaker. So, but we are doing the overhaul anyway. So once again, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.